In this tutorial, I'm going to show you briefly how to manipulate text. So when you type, there's some basic things that you can do, right? So we're just going to type in some text. Now, things that you can do. You can highlight it and you can change colors. And what I've noticed is that this is a very, very buggy tool. It does work to a point, but there it is. We've changed our colors, right? The other thing that you can do, again, I'm triple clicking to select all the text, is use the text tool here. You can make your text bigger or smaller, right? But there is a max, right? So 144 is your max that you can do. So if you were to do that and then grab these handles, oops, and like I said, this text tool is very, very finicky. I find that this happens all the time where I'm trying to manipulate text and I can't. So we're getting the text here. So this is as big as you can make the text, right? But that's not really the truth. If you go and use your lasso tool, you can lasso it and hit the resize button and you can make text even bigger. So if you want to make some really cool headings and you want to play with it using that tool that they've got. So when you're using, if I go back to text, when you're using this little tool over here, it's so much harder to manipulate the text the way you want. So I like to use the resize tool. So I use the lasso, again, you lasso it, and then you use the resize tool, and that allows you not only to move it, but to resize it just the way you want. So anytime you want a cool heading, you can do that. But what about when you want to change the font? So you have to go back to your text tool, triple click, it's very finicky, and then get to your font, and that's where you can change your font and play with all the different fonts. And you can see it's reacting to the different fonts that we are clicking. So when you want to come up with your own headings, you can definitely play with, this is a great, here's one of my favorites. I like fun text. You can do this, and then again, when you want to make it the size you want, you can do that resize tool and get to play with it, position it just the way you want it. So that's kind of fun, and that is one way to manipulate text. The other thing is if you have a notebook with sideways tabs and you want to, let's get this text, and you want to manipulate it so that you can get your words. So maybe these are blank for you and you want to be able to turn them sideways. Again, use your lasso tool and then hit resize, and you get the ability to turn it sideways and make it small. It's a little tricky to get it just the way you want, so you don't want it to be a little bit crooked like that. And I tell you, once you've got this a little bit crooked, it's very hard to get it uncrooked. So if we got it the way we want it, then we can just move it and put it over our tabs. So if you're working with tabs that are going down your page and you want to be able to write sideways, write what you would normally write, then use the lasso tool and resize, and then you can get it just the way you want it. And there's always your favorite tool here, the undo tool. So if you ever screw up and it gets a little bit crooked on you or something you don't want, keep hitting that undo tool till you get it just the way you want. So that's how you can write sideways, and that's how if you're going to do tabs at the top, and if they're blank tabs, you can do the same thing. You get the text that you want, you lasso it, resize it, and now you can make it small enough to fit over one of your tabs if that's what you're trying to do. And again, you can manipulate it by moving it all around, but I really like the ability to make it big right here so that I don't have to worry about trying to use this little tool right here. And again, I found this is buggy when I use my defaults. Sometimes the colors don't change the way that they're supposed to. But it is an easier tool to use if you just go with the lasso. So there you have it. That is how you can manipulate text, turn it sideways, make it bigger, even bigger than they allow you on just the text tool. And you can also change your fonts. In the next one, the next video, I will show you actually how to make not custom fonts, but define fonts elsewhere and pull them into GoodNotes if there's a favorite font that you have that you can't get in GoodNotes.